Hi everybody, welcome back to Little Fish Creates. I'm your host, Little Fish. Today we are continuing on with the Miraculous Ladybug redesigns. Today we are talking about Adrien Agreste. Yes, our favorite little sunshine boy himself. Today's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about backstory. I've got my script here and I'm going to be reading it as a story. So it might be, the whole thing might be a little bit different. Let me know how you guys like it, because maybe I'll just do stories in the future. Who knows? Alrighty, so Adrien's a scent monster, as we talked about in my Gabriel redesign. So Emily, his mom, is super protective of him. He was homeschooled for his entire young life, and as far as homeschooling goes, was a fairly normal homeschooling experience. You know, if you don't include not being able to leave the house, unless it was on a photo shoot, and him being a famous model pretty much since the time he was born. Emily is very doting on him, but doesn't let him do anything. As we talked about in my Gabriel video, she gets more and more sick as Adrien grows up. And then she, quote-unquote, goes missing in Adrien's junior year of high school. Okay, so here's something that I was kind of playing with, because it gets a little bit disturbing. So if you guys don't want to hear this, you can skip forward a couple minutes, because this is going to get weird. So, I'm thinking that instead of Emily going missing, I think she just kind of straight up dies. She just gets unalived. She just passes away. Gabriel and Adrien have a funeral that the entire city of Paris shows up for, and it's very sad, and Emily just is dead. But instead of grieving and moving on like a normal person, Gabriel gets it into his head that he can save her. Now keep in mind, this is after she's already dead. So, Gabriel starts thinking about the rest of the Miraculous. This is where he does the rest of his study on the other Miraculous, including the Ladybug and the Black Cat Miraculous. He decides that he's going to make a wish and wish Emily back to them. So, he goes to the cemetery and digs up Emily and puts her in that super creepy cooler coffin down in the basement. Yikes. And from then on, he makes it his goal to bring her back to life. Adrien, on the other hand, is a rational human being and moves on. It's still sad, but he knows that he still has life to live, and probably his mom would want him to live it. So he asks Gabriel if he can go to school, and yada yada yada, he can go because Gabriel wants the house to himself to be super creepy and learn more about the Miraculous, and it gives Adrien less chance of finding Emily downstairs in the basement. So Adrien at this point is in his junior year of high school. He's already learned all the material for these last 2 years, but wants to get the social interaction. Gabriel agrees, and Adrien gets to go to school. So Adrien gets sent to the same school that Chloe goes to. It's a private school with very high prestige. This will help Adrien learn social skills as well as still being able to learn new material and get prepared for the future. This school is where the rich kids of Paris go, and Marinette is there on scholarship. So she's really smart but this gives Chloe some jab time with Marinette and kicks up their rivalry again. So similar dynamics from the class in the show, but Adrien and Marinette are actually just friends. Marinette doesn't fall in love with Adrien until later. We're obviously still gonna have the main ship, but it's gonna be later. So this is just backstory still. We haven't actually started the show, quote unquote. So Marinette does gain a small crush on Adrien when they hang out. They're best friends with Alia and Nino. But Marinette has a plan. She knows exactly what she's gonna do, exactly what she wants to do, and so she doesn't have time for anything right now. Adrien's just a friend. So I'm not really a huge fan of how our heroes got their Miraculous in the show. I don't necessarily have a better idea. So for now, we're just gonna keep it like that. But the difference is that they don't, they get the Miraculous, but they don't fight Hawkmoth right off the bat. They start doing some training with Master Fu. Somehow Master Fu gets some intel, probably from Fluff or Sass, that there is a supervillain on the rise. And so that's why Master Fu gives out the Miraculous and starts to train them. It starts out as normal big city superhero stuff like Spider-Man, where you help old ladies cross the street, you catch bad guys, you stop car crashes, that kind of thing. Until Hawk Daddy shows his face, which is going to be on the day of graduation from high school. Up until this point, Gabriel has just been focusing on research, figuring stuff out, deciding what he needs to do. Adrien and Marinette, in their separate ways, were thinking about leaving Paris. For Marinette, even though it's the fashion capital of the world, she thinks that maybe she could go to London or New York to get a little bit more expansion on her ideas of fashion. And Adrien just kind of wants to leave. He doesn't want to be around his dad anymore because obviously his dad does not have healthy coping mechanisms. So up until this graduation, they are like, okay, we're gonna leave. But then Hawkmoth attacks. And when Ladybug and Cat Noir save the day, they seal their fate. They are now stuck in Paris. So Adrien continues his modeling and Marinette goes to college, going their separate ways. Then Marinette is going to get her internship at the Agreste brand. We kind of talked about this in my Chloe video. So Adrien hears from Chloe that Marinette from high school is working at their office. And so he decides he'd like to be friends with her again. He remembers her and he remembers that she was really sweet and really nice and super cute. So he decides that he wants to get to know her better. But he can't just go down to wherever she's at, her department, as Adrien Agreste, because he's a model and super famous and all that jazz. And not only that, he is getting really tired of being a model full time. It's exhausting. He has to be focused on what he looks like at all times. And so he asks Natalie for help. Natalie helps him to get a position in the accounting department as, quote unquote, his cousin Felix. So basically, Adrien is pretending to be Felix Adrien is pretending to be Felix in the accounting department so that he can get better with more social skills, as well as becoming friends again with Marinette. So Adrien and Marinette are reunited, and thus brings about secret identity shenanigans and love square stuff as a B plot, not the A plot. So by this point, Gabriel has been trying to get the Miraculous for several years, and he's feeling the effects of the broken Miraculous. He's running out of time, and so he starts to amp up his ecumenizations. He starts to try and hurt Ladybug and Cat Noir instead of trying to convince them to give him the Miraculous. So now we're going to get into more magic system? ? So, Ladybug and Cat Noir. So within their transformed state, they are kind of superhuman. They grow several inches, they have super agility, super strength. However, their bodies themselves are still human. They're not invincible. So they still can get broken bones. They still get scrapes and scratches. They still get nasty looking bruises. But their suits are completely invincible. The more they use the Miraculous, the stronger their abilities become. So they grow more, they get stronger, better agility, that kind of thing. Their powers, like Ladybug's creation powers and Cat Noir's destruction powers, will mostly stay the same. I would like to give Cat Noir another power, because Ladybug has the Lucky Charm and the Repair Everything powers. I would like to give Cat Noir more powers as well. However, in this version, Cat Noir's Cataclysm is the only thing that can break the objects that the Akuma is in. So that way both of them still need to be here together. If one of them isn't there, big problems. So as for the actual picture designs, for Adrien, his civilian form, I gave him more of a model-esque vibe. So his hair is more sticky uppy, he's got more attractive clothes, that kind of thing. As for Cat Noir, in his superhero form, I felt like it would be completely opposite from his modeling thing. So as a model, he's going to be wearing tight clothes. He's going to be showing off his body. And I think as Cat Noir, he would more likely want to blend into the shadows. So I gave him an oversized sweatshirt, that kind of thing, a little hoodie, so that he can be more background than right up front, because he's always the center of attention wherever he goes as Adrien. And so I think that as Cat Noir, he'd more likely want to be less noticed. I did leave his pants a little bit tighter, but I think he'd more in this version as Adrien, he would more want joggers or something. I just really liked this silhouette, and so that's what I did with that. As for his mask, it's more makeup-y rather than a masquerade mask or anything. I feel like as a model, he has to wear makeup all the time, and so he's probably comfortable with it. So it's kind of a makeup-esque mask rather than a physical mask. Gave him a hood so that he could hide his face when he wanted to, but he's still just our sweet sunshine boy, full of hope and light. He just prefers the background as Cat Noir rather than the spotlight. So pretty much his personality as Cat Noir in this version would be more personality of Kuroneko from the show, and less cat noir from the show. Because I feel like his model persona is very cat noir. It's very suave, it's very hot. And so as cat noir, he'd be more laid back, more chill, humble. He's comfortable with himself, and so he doesn't need to be noticed. Alright guys, so there you go. Thanks for watching. This has been a redesign of Cat Noir. Next time I've got my last planned Miraculous redesign, and it is none other than the main character herself, Marinette Dupenchang. Are there any other characters you'd like me to redesign? Let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye!